Hi there, and welcome to our fourth video in a series on how to apply for the Business Strategy Internship program. In this video, we'll explain how to fill out the internship budget and schedule for your BSI application. This screen is where you'll add information about each of the internships in your project, as well as the amount that the partner organization is paying. At the moment, you have two options for funding models for this program. If any additional funding models become available, you will find them as a radio button in this section. The first funding model is the standard BSI internship valued at $10,000. In this model, the partner organization's contribution is $5,000 per internship, and all funds must be paid to the intern as a stipend. Your second option for a funding model is the standard internship plus project costs, valued at $15,000. In this model, the partner organization's contribution is $7,500. For the second model, minimum intern stipend is still $10,000, but you can use up to $5,000 for eligible project costs as listed on our website. You can also choose to allocate the additional $5,000 to the intern stipend as a top-up. Any combination of funding is allowed in the $15,000 model as long as the minimum intern stipend remains at $10,000. This information should become more clear as we add more internships. Whatever radio button you have selected is the model that you're adding for the internship. We'll start by adding a standard internship valued at $10,000. To add an internship, you click on the Add Internship button here. This will take you to a new screen where you can choose from the interns that you've already added in the participant section. You also need to note the intern's degree level. You will need to add in the start date for the internship as well as the duration and the number of consecutive internships with the same stipend. If you're not sure what this means, you can always visit the Help button noted here. Please note that the end date will automatically populate based on whatever you added as the start date, as well as the duration. Also, BSI internships can only be between 4 and 6 months long. You cannot choose 7 months or 3 months, or it will not allow you to move on with the application. Once you've added the intern to the internship, you will also need to fill in some information for the academic supervisor. As we only have one supervisor on this project, they are automatically a participant of this internship, and they are automatically the lead academic supervisor. If you had more than one supervisor on the project, they may only be a participant of the internship and may not be a lead academic supervisor. However, you always need one lead academic supervisor for each internship. All supervisors listed on the project must be eligible as laid out on our website. Next, you'll fill in information for the partner organization. As noted above, the total minimum required organization contribution is $5,000 per internship. If you have more than one partner organization on the application, you can distribute the contributions across multiple organizations. Most importantly, you'll be able to designate the amount that each partner organization is paying per internship. The standard contribution amount is $5,000 for a $10,000 internship. You are able to add more money to your contribution, but please remember that any additional contributions that you make must be reflected in the stipends and project expenses section listed below. You may add more money to your contribution, but please note that Mitacs will only match the standard amount. You will also notice that you are not able to add project costs to this funding model as you've selected the stipend-only funding model. You can, however, add more money to the intern stipend if you'd like to pay them a little more, but you must make sure that these amounts match. Once the amounts match, you will be able to save this internship, and you will be redirected back to your main screen. To add another internship at the $15,000 level, you'll have to make sure that you've selected the $15,000 radio button. You can then go ahead and click the Add Internship button and follow the same process that we just did. If you're not sure who your intern's going to be yet, you can always choose a TBD intern and add this information later. Again, you'll need to fill out the start date, the duration, and the consecutive number of internships. You'll need to designate the lead academic supervisor, and you will also need to fill out the partner organization information here. As you can see, the minimum required organization contribution is $7,500 per internship. You will again need to make sure that partner organization contribution matches the total amount noted at the bottom of the internship, which includes Mitacs's contribution. The only difference between this internship model and the other internship model is that you are able to add project costs to this model. You can put in any amount for the project costs up to $5,000, and then you will need to increase the stipend amount so that the total is always $15,000 or more. If you're adding project expenses to an internship, you'll need to detail what the money will be used for in the space provided here. Once you're happy with all the information included in this section, you can again click Save. You will now see that we have 2 internships added in our internship table here. You can continue to add internships to your project up to a maximum of 10. If you have a larger project with more than 10 internships, you will need to complete a separate application in WRAP. You are also able to edit any of the internships you've added by clicking the arrow under Available Actions and clicking Edit. You will need to make sure that the radio button selected is the one that's associated with the amount of each internship. For example, in our first internship, we have the $10,000 internship model, so that means we need to click on the radio button here and make sure that it is selected before we go in and edit the internship. The total partner organization contribution for the project will be noted in the purple box underneath the table of internships. If there is a variance between the partner organization contribution amount listed here and the amount that you've put in for the internships, you will note that you have a variance. A green variance means that you've added more money than is accounted for in your internships. If you add less money than is accounted for in your internships, the variance will show up in red. You must make sure that the partner organization contribution matches the total amount for the internships. Your variance should read $0. Once you are happy with all of your internships and you have input all the amounts, you can click Save. Again, you'll see the green box with the success and the check mark appear, and you'll know that you've saved it correctly. If you have any questions about any of the information on this page, you can always reach out to your business development representative or submit a support ticket by clicking the button at the bottom of the page. We'll now move on to the Review and Submit section, which is the last section before you submit your application. We'll cover this in our next video. This concludes this training video. You can now move on to the video titled Reviewing and Submitting Your Application, or feel free to watch any of the other videos in this series.